So that's how it works for us, and it also means that rather than it just being a commercial farm milking cows and blocking entrances, it means that once the cows come in, people can actually see them.
Yeah,
right? And we don't block any customers coming in.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing about it. Obviously, in the milking parlour, which I'll show you shortly, and they come in the milking parlour and they get milked, which is what people say, well, you know, that the forced in and all that sort of thing. And then because they know they're going out to a running buffet,
absolutely.
Into the building, with water and cubicles with cow mats on. So it really does work for me. The reason why I milk 1,000 cows is because I don't feed them any concentrates, so I only get half the yield. So I used to milk 500, and to pay the bank back and do everything else, you just had to double the numbers. The good thing about that was that I've got more calves, more beef calves. Now
and at the minute they're worth a lot of money.
And now I've got a butcher shop, so enterprises start to stack up. So just recently, very exciting, we put an anaerobic digester in, which runs on cow slurry only. Right. So that's going to give me heat, maybe for polytunnels. It's going to give me a better quality of product for a veg enterprise. So that's what I'm going. And I
think that's the thing. The diversification is the future, isn't it?
It's finding people.
Well, that's the biggest challenge, isn't it? And finding people who want to work. Because there's a lot of people who think they do. How do you so for your side, how many litres a day are you pulling out of the dairy?
For our own use? Roughly about 3,000 litres a day. At this time of year, because a lot goes into ice cream, cream for cakes, etc. It does quieten down towards the back end of the year. But we've got a really good relationship with a very popular award-winning ice cream maker in Cramlington, Ciccarelli's, and we work really well with them. It's helped. And we're doing 1 or 2 farm shops and cafes with Purgles and obviously our off-site vending machines, which we've got sort of 6 or 7 of those. Off-site.
I didn't think you could sell off-site raw.
No, you can't. You can sell off-site pasteurised. So we pasteurise.
Organic.
Organic pasteurised.
But you can sell raw from here.
From raw here.
So it's the same as the egg situation. We used to produce eggs. You could sell them at the farm gate, but couldn't sell them off site. Okay. Sounds about right. So let's see this dairy then. Come on.
Which holds about 30,000 litres, which is just capacity basically. Now we're going to walk into the bulk tank room now. That's an 8,000 litre tank, and that's a 10,000 litre tank. This is all chilling equipment, basically, to get the milk down to temperature.
One of the things we saw down in Truro, which intrigued me, was they put a load of solar panels in. And then they couldn't connect them to the grid. So they used it to make this massive block of ice, what chilled all their milk down. I thought that was pretty genius.
So this is what we call the milk recovery room. The milk comes through those tunnels into those receiver jars, goes through coolers again. So the main thing is you're getting your milk from a 38-degree blood heat down to 4 degrees as quick as possible. It's better for shelf life, better for quality.
And what's that time frame?
Well, basically, it depends on the weather. I mean, sometimes it can be within about 4 or 5 minutes. Sometimes it can be, sort of 15, 20 minutes. Okay. So this is the milking parlour. So 28 cows come in. They come in one at a time. So the first cow walks in at the gate there, and it can't go anywhere until it comes to the front. And with its shoulder, it opens the first gate. And it just keeps on going like so.
Gotcha.
Okay. So they're at 90 degrees to us. And we scrub the teats with a teat scrubber, we call it, brushes them clean, and we put the units on. The unit then milks the cow, and when it comes off, automatically through a flow meter, then it is flushed, so it's clean, ready for the next cow.
And then when this is finished, this whole lot lifts up.
That all lifts up. I'll give you a demo on it.
Similar thing to what
basically that's up now. I'll lift this one up for you if you want to take a bit of a video of it. So it's full of cows, and we've actually, everything's going good, and they say, right, come on Sheila, get a move on. And you do that. And the whole lot lifts up.
Brilliant.
And out they go. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So,
How long has this been in?
So this was an 1818, what we called it, or 3636.
Yeah.
Back in 25 years ago, and 10 years ago we updated it to the new store work and put another 10 units on. Wow. So the guy I worked for, he's not with us any longer, but he always thought big and thought, well, if I'm going to do something, look to the future.
Yeah.
So I wanted the new store work, which says you're not having it unless you're going to put another 10 units on. You never know when you might need those extra units, and he was right. Yeah. So it's a very functional piece of kit. We just milk twice a day now because we're organic, and there's no need to push the cows. There's no advantage of milking 3 times a day because we don't feed them to get that extra yield.
Yeah.
So it's it works really well.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Big time farming, that's what it is.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
That'd have a bit of a laugh.
The trouble is, isn't it, is you're stuck in that limbo with the farming side. You're either big enough to succeed with it, or you're big enough to fail. And that seems to be where a lot of people are falling off the end of the system because the production they can produce just doesn't give them enough to, especially with what things are worth. And the problem is that food is worth a lot more than than you're getting paid for it, isn't it?
The biggest issue is I've had to change my whole mindset because I was a high input, high output farmer. Right, feeding them a lot of feed. 3 times a day milking, pressure. Got to a point where I just thought I was being a slave to the industry, really, and I wanted to change. To do that, I could go organic or get paid a little bit more money. Thought I could keep the yields up, but I can't. If I could keep the yields up, I'd just spend all the money on organic feeds from all over the world, and that's not what I wanted to do. No. So basically, I managed to rent some more land, grow some more crops, and then we just had to take that decision and just organic feeds from all over the world, and that's not what I wanted to do. No. So basically, I managed to rent some more land, grow some more crops, and then we just had to take that decision and just took that feed away and just try to provide a quality milk that our ancestors would have eaten, would have drank from cows eating herbal lays. So that's what I've done, and it's been difficult because you keep losing this yield, and we always think we need to be the best to try and get the yields up and to be productive, but we've gone the other way. But the milk's better quality, people like it more, and we've gained another enterprise. And it's amazing that I think we've been hoodwinked a lot about feeding for yield and profit. It's not actually correct. But you're paying consultants, you're paying other people, and it's not the truth. You don't have a feed bill every month. You have a rent bill or a interest bill. It's easier than the feed bill. That's the difference. Probably my wife. No, it's not. So I won't answer it then. If it was my wife, I would answer that, even though you're here. So
you always got to answer them.
You're going to say, that's for me.
So what cows have you got now?
Right. So we've got a breed of a mixture of breeds, which is the Ayrshire, the Dairy Shorthorn, the Swedish Red, the Montbéliard, the Normandies, Swedish Reds. I'm sort of pushing towards a French breed at the moment. I've got quite a lot. Right. I like the look of them. Called the Normandy.
Right.
So I've still got quite a few Holsteins in here, but I can't look after them on this ration.
Right.
Because they want to produce milk and they can't look after themselves. So I'm really impressed with the Normandies because they've got a better frame. They're designed to eat more forage. So that's the way I'm looking at the moment.
And the calf, so how many calves you got this year to go through the system?
So every year we've got sort of 800 to 900 calves born.
Wow.
And we're keeping sort of 350 as replacements. And the rest are a beef enterprise, which with the Herefords and the Aberdeen Angus, they go through our farm shop. And then we use the Belgian Blues and more continental ones, which we'll sell at the market for those other farmers that like that type of animal for the supermarket.
Because I see the price of beef has gone up considerably this year, isn't it? I mean, some of the guys down Exeter were reporting back at nearly like 2.8, 2.9 a cow. That's a lot of money.
It's amazing how it's gone up,
Yeah, and I think it will go up a lot more yet, because I think the problem is as they're pushing to get the meat out of the system, And you know, and then they've put this trade deal in place for America. I don't see America being able to fulfil that trade deal. I've got to be honest, because I speak to American farmers and they're like, "Well, we haven't even got enough beef to feed our own people.
Yeah.
So where's it coming from?" So I don't think that's. I don't think that will come to a lot, to be honest. But what has shocked me is the amount of farmers that have, because the price of cattle has got so high, that they've got completely out, thinking they're going to buy back in. Young stock, which isn't there. And I think there's a lot of people going to get caught out this year on that side. So it's pretty sorrowful.
It's a bit of a mixture of the age of the farmers, whether they're a tenant or not, whether the landlord's taken some land back, put it into herbal lays or trees or whatever, and that's been lost, so that suckler herd's gone. It's amazing how many of those disappear, and it just has an effect. And then obviously a suckler cow, everything we do is long-term investment. That insemination or service date today, it's 9 months before it's born, and then it's 2 years before it's on the table. So it's a massive investment. And unfortunately, it's nice to get a good price for a calf because a lot of the work goes in and the money. But you just do feel like, is there something happening somewhere that they're making it like this? So it finds its way out of the system. It's too expensive.
I mean, I know there was a friend of mine was he was down in Cornwall. Can't remember which one of the yards it was down there, and they were saying that somebody, they didn't name who, but somebody in the industry was buying up all the breeding stock, all their prime specimen breeding stock, and it was just vanishing. And they were saying like they weren't caring what they were paying for it. And it's like, well, where's it going? You know, if it's disappearing out of the system, where's it going? Because this is going to be the biggest challenge I see for the whole of the, not just the cattle industry, but the pigs and the sheep as well. Where pigs, at least you can spin them around in, you know, under 4 months. Like you say, with cows, you know, it's not. You know, for us, we can get a pig pregnant and out the door really within 7 months. You know, for full weight, and that's where you guys nearly 3 years. So that's a lot of difference, isn't it? And the feed costs in that now are just, I know for us, keeping pigs and anything like that now has just got so expensive.
And so, well, the disease element and the government again with all that, licenses and vaccines and all that sort of stuff. So,
what do you vaccinate for?
So, we vaccinate via the lungworm. It's called Husvac. It used to be called Dictol in our days. So that's a vaccine which is good for protecting the cow against lungworm, and it's been out for many a year. You know, it's not a new vaccine which is as everyone's frightened nowadays. It's been tampered with. So that's where we are with that one. But as IBR, I think is the other one. But it's amazing that the more we've gone on to this role of low production, natural.
You're vaccinating a lot less.
The vaccinations, we don't have them problems. We don't have the same health problems.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So we don't really, although we milk a lot of cows, we don't really have a lot of mastitis. We still have to keep the feet right. We're walking to and from fields. That can be quite a challenge still, and it's about having the right. I can't really alter the feed that much, so they have to eat what I've got. And sometimes it's a case of I wish it was a bit higher in energy. They might not be quite suffering the same. It's just like feeding a dog or a cat, really. In a way, could we give it a bit more if you can't do that? That's why it's important I get the right breed, and I think I've got it. Something that can carry a little bit of condition, has a bit of strength. Turn that forage into milk and look after itself. It's got to look after itself. If you can't get back in calf again, it's not going to be here.
But, you know, overall, they didn't really produce not vast amounts of milk.
Well, the Holstein cow now, it's amazing. I'll still like to see the Holstein cow. I don't have any really proper Holsteins because I've gone the crossbred route. But you know, they are a special animal. But you've got to feed them like a racing car. You know, and if you can't keep them on the straight, they're off. You know, whereas the crossbred cows, they just get on.
They just get on with it. Cool beans. Okay. So, what are we going to look at? Cows or shop?
Well, the cows are down the field, unless we're going to look at calves, because they're in the roundhouses.
Well, let's go there.
Right?
Let's
and
do
there's a shop there. So, Hiya. Hi, all right?
Good morning.
Yeah, there's not too many people, so this is our vending room. It's developed over the last sort of 4 or 5 years.
So it must be a hell of an investment putting them machines
Big
in.
investment in the machines.
What, like 10 grand a piece?
No, they're more than that. They're like
really now?
25 grand. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, big
And I
money.
suppose like anything, as they become more popular, the money's gone up.
Yeah. So obviously we do, in here we do fresh and frozen meat for people.
Yep.
We do the coffees, we using our milk. And then we've got our own, we've got semi-skim, pasteurised, and then bottle vendor, and then a raw machine that you can put flavours in.
Yeah.
Then we've got a raw machine that you can just, and these, just plenty of machines for people to get the flavoured milk from, and hopefully.
And you still take cash on the machines?
We can. Most of the machines are card, but we can take cash.
Yeah.
We just you just ask one of the nice staff, and they come and just put it on free. And ghee.
And ghee.
Yeah. So that's the ghee. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's our halloumi cheese and our butter.
Yeah.
And then we sell local eggs, some organic, some free range.
Yeah.
And some quail eggs have just come along recently. And then the Geordie Mac potato crisps, which are just fantastic. You tried it last night?
Are they yours?
Yeah.
They're the ones you were saying about. No,
yeah,
we didn't try them last night. We'll have to get some in when we leave. Try and have a load up. So you're producing them as an organic crisp and then turning an organic potato and then turning them into crisps yourself.
Yeah. So
or having them done for you.
Yeah, basically, it's an organic potato, but I can't sell them as organic because once you go into the factory.
Yeah.
Although it's just sunflower oil, which people don't like. Some people want it. Anyway, I'll probably go into olive oil, something like that.
Yeah.
Something a bit more
healthy,
consumer friendly.
Yeah.
What yourself?
Sorry, well that's the big thing these days, isn't it? Is finding what the consumers want.
So I'll just move out of the way there.
Fantastic.
So that's
well organised, well set up.
It just keeps evolving. And then we've got a butcher's shop next door. Hiya. Hello, Chris. You don't mind being on the telly, do you? Again. No, yes. So this is the butcher's shop with the displays. Our own beef.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you'll have to put a few chickens on the farm then.
We buy the chickens in, pasture raised as best we can.
Yeah.
Same with the pork, although we do have a few of our own pigs.
You do?
Yeah. They'll probably come back and they'll be too fat, I think, this week. We'll see.
You feed them on milk?
Well, they do get a bit of milk, yeah. Yeah, and we sell the offal. People want the offal, they want the hearts, and they want the liver, and and
my mum loves it. Glory does. We did with the turkeys at Christmas. I kept all the offal.
And then this is more to your sort of a liking, or just 2 weeks into the.
Yeah, this is more my side of things. So I think the demand's there for it. It's almost rude not to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, people are asking me, and can you supply? So then we could get most of the things from here. Why not?
Absolutely.
And then I'll work on trying to get the organic situation going.
Yeah.
Never be able to do everything.
No.
Anyway, but you never say never.
Yeah.
But,
no, the thing is, even if you can grow a little bit on site, then it gives the credence to what you're doing, and two, it definitely puts you in the position that people like to see it. It's no different to you having the cows wandering about the fields, and people come down the drive, they see a polytunnel and see something coming out of it, and you say that's produced on site. People go, excellent. Yeah, and then, like we suggested, there's several big organic wholesalers now, but what we need is lots of little ones.
Yeah,
that's what we really need. People who just specialise in one or two things, and that's kind of what's missing in the farming side now, I think.
Yeah, I like when you said you need to write a letter to the farmers and say, "Can you provide me?" That's quite good.
loads of people have had good response with that.
I like that. That's what we need. We need people to come buy local. I mean, a lot of people will come buy the milk and they think it's great, and then you don't see them again because they go back onto their, I'm just at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Well, if they're coming here for the fruit and veg, well, they can pick the milk up.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, when you get really down to the basics, apart from your fruit, veg, meat, and dairy, what do you actually need?
Well, toilet rolls probably. I have to get some toilet rolls, and then for everyone who come.
Where was we down at Organity, wasn't we? And they had this massive great big truck pulled up on the side of the road. They started unloading boxes and boxes of these toilet rolls. Yeah. Organic toilet rolls.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.